The lunch bell rings, and I find myself disinclined to make my way up to the roof. After all, I'm betting Wren knows where Emmy is, and if that's the case, then I doubt she'd bother going up there. More to the point, I doubt we'd have any sort of scintillating conversation if she did. Chances are she'd prefer to be alone up there anyway, so I don't accidentally ruin her train of thought or something. Unfortunately, I don't really feel like heading to the cafeteria either. Guess I'll go to the library instead. I need a new book to read anyway, having finished my other one yesterday before bed. Maybe I can find more by the same author. I love libraries. They smell like dust and paper and ink. All these stories and facts and opinions crowded together in one place makes the air come alive with potential. I'm not sure how to navigate Yamako's library yet, having mostly stuck to books I brought with me, so I searched for the librarian to ask for help. I suppose she's not around. Can't believe it. Yuko, looking rather distracted, suddenly emerges from one of the aisles. Excuse me? I ask. Oh, can I help you? Actually, I was looking for a book. So am I, she says. Advanced Cryptography. We just got it in, and now it's gone missing. I really, really wanted to read that one. Cryptography, I ask. Yeah, that is, this guy I knew. No. Not sure how to describe it. Skip to the end, I say. He got me interested in cryptography, only now the book's gone, and I think it's been stolen. Sounds pretty terrible, I say. Yeah, especially because now I have to search the whole library for it, even though it's probably not even here. You seem busy, I say. A little. She dashes off down another aisle, and I resign myself to finding my own damn book. Plenty of choices. Oh, come on, how did I get lost? These aren't even printed books, they're all in Braille. I guess that makes sense in a school like this, but honestly, it's a little annoying. I'm sorry, is someone there? A lilting voice drifts out from behind one of the cubicles set up for research. As I approach, I see that Lily's been reading a book while I've been stomping around the aisles. Oh no, I say, I should be apologizing. I didn't mean to make so much noise. My, is that you, Hisao? I've not heard from you in quite some time, she says. I was beginning to think you'd forgotten all about me. Sorry, I say. Lily laughs in that refined manner of hers and shakes her head. I'm only teasing you, Hisao. From what I hear, you've been busy. Morning runs with Emi Eberazaki and lunch on the rooftop, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I say. Guess word gets around pretty quickly. That, and I can't coax poor Hanako on the roof anymore, she says. You three are always up there, claiming the spot for yourselves. She chides me gently, though it's pretty clear she's just teasing me again. Still, I feel an odd need to apologize. Sorry, we could, eat lunch somewhere else if it's a real problem. Oh no, I wouldn't worry about it. Hanako and I have other things to do at lunch too, such as read in the library, as you can see. Oh, I say, Hanako's here too? I didn't see her. Lily smiles a bit enigmatically. Oh, she's around somewhere. But I'm surprised, Hisao. You're in here instead of up there. What brings you to the library? I answer her, well, Emmy's ill, so there's no lunch on the rooftop to keep me occupied. Lily raises an eyebrow at my statement before giving another chuckle. My, poor Wren must feel left out. It's not like that, I say. Ah, but I'm sure it isn't, she says. Emmy tends to be the life of whatever group she's in. It's a shame to hear she's fallen ill. Will she be okay? Somehow I get the feeling that Lily's just inquiring out of politeness, but I respond anyway. The nurse thinks so. I'm going to swing by and see how she's doing after school myself. Another raised eyebrow. My, what a noble gentleman you are, Hisao. It's nothing really, I say. Just, checking up on my friend, after all. Ah, so it's just friends, is it, she says. How disappointing. I blush, glad that Lily can't see it. But somehow she knows that I've been flustered by her comment anyway and laughs. I'm sorry, Hisao. I'm teasing you again. Please, do tell Emmy that I hope she feels better, won't you? A glance at my watch reveals that I'm very nearly out of time to find my book. Of course, I say. Hey, I've got to find a book before lunch is over, so I'd better get moving. See you later. That was probably not the best phrase to use. Lily, however, takes my gaffe in stride. Until we meet again, Hisao. I never do find the book I was looking for, but I walk out with something else instead. My stomach growls slightly, letting me know that I should have had something for lunch. Oh well. I'll grab something before I visit Emmy later. It seems as if the time has decided to slow down for the express purpose of annoying the hell out of me. Class feels like it drags on for ages. I suspect that being consumed with worry probably has something to do with it. Blessedly, the bell rings, and I dash out of class, drawing a few raised eyebrows, I'm sure. I've spent the majority of the day fretting as unobtrusively as I could. Even though the nurse thinks that Emmy is perfectly okay, I want to see for myself. It doesn't take too long to get to the girls' dormitory and make my way to Emmy's room. Standing outside her door, I suddenly pause. What if she's resting? I'd hate to wake her up, especially if she's feeling ill. Then again, if she sleeps all day, then it could throw off her sleeping schedule. But rest is important if you're ill, isn't it? I can't decide what to do, so I settle for standing outside the door, looking like an idiot. Then I hear Emmy's voice from behind the door. Thanks for your concern, but I really am okay. Is she talking to me? I'll see you at practice tomorrow. Guess not. Still, clearly she's not asleep, so I can knock without worry. So why this clenched feeling in my gut? I wasn't nervous about dropping by the other day, so why today? Granted, I still haven't really had time to figure out this newfound interest in Emmy's well-being. I don't have a lot of experience in the matter, of course, but certainly this seems to go beyond feelings of mere friendship. But could I take that step? Could I even bring myself to risk what I have now? I mean, it's enough to be friends with her, isn't it? Either way, shouldn't I just open the door and see how she's doing? That's why I came here, right? What if she's not dressed yet? The image that flashes through my mind causes my heart to skip a beat, literally. I should probably not ever think those thoughts again, not if I want to avoid a heart attack. I suddenly realize I'm still standing in the hallway looking like an idiot. Emmy still seems to be in the middle of a conversation, but I knock anyway. Hopefully she won't mind the interruption. You worry too much. Come in, the door's unlocked, she says. So it is. I open the door and step in, which is about where my thought process comes to a grinding halt. Emmy is sitting up in bed, her hair tousled from a day spent asleep. I think this is the first time I've seen her without those familiar beads in her hair. Her gym shirt and bloomers, obviously hastily pulled on before I came in, are creased and folded in from less than proper storage. Her legs lay bare on the sheets. I've never seen Emmy without prosthetics before, yet here she is, slender legs terminating in stumps just below her knees. But as odd as the sight is, I find myself more captivated by everything north of the waist. It seems that Emmy has finished her conversation with whoever it was on the phone and is now watching my reaction closely out of one open eye as she wipes sleep from the other. Her expression, far from being embarrassed, is rather one of a surprisingly wide yawn, one perhaps appropriate from such a small mouth. A grin that for a brief moment seems almost flirtatious tugs at the corners of her mouth as she takes the sight of me in. I can do nothing but remain in a state fluctuating between fear, confusion, and not a little bit of lust. Emmy hastily sweeps her hair out of her eyes, fixing it back into place before addressing me. "You seem a little caught off guard, Hisao," she says. A wave of laughter erupts from her, and I find myself grinning and rubbing the back of my head ruefully. "Sorry," I say, "I've just, never seen anyone so disheveled look so attractive. Never seen you without your legs on. Never seen you look so..." Sorry," I say. Emmy giggles again and moves to sit up a little straighter. I'm caught up in the movements of her shirt, very nearly losing myself. "I was wondering what your reaction would be," she says. "The nurse called and told me you were going to drop by, you see. And I know you haven't seen me, well, you know, without legs." I respond in a tone of casual surprise. "Oh, you don't have them on? I didn't notice." This is almost the truth. I very nearly didn't. I'm not trying to be suave or anything, mind you. Somehow I think Emmy would get offended by that. Instead, she sticks her tongue out at me and chucks a pillow at my head. "Ass," she says. I deftly catch the pillow and take careful aim before throwing. Emmy laughs and rolls to one side, dodging my shot, the shifting of her shirt distracting me enough so that the next thrown pillow hits me right between the eyes. Oof! I retaliate, of course. And once I've retaliated twice, well, a war was bound to break out sooner or later. And really, when Emmy appears to have far better aim than me, well, it was just a matter of time before I'd have to resort to a suicidal charge. "Gotcha," I say. "Eep!" And once the charge was accomplished, well, of course I'd have to wrestle the pillows away from her. And with that kind of struggle, of course we'd wind up in this sort of position. And so I find myself staring down at her from my position atop her. She's grinning, eyes sparkling with amusement, maybe a little sweaty now from our tussle. Her chest is heaving up and down, sucking in air. The small bit of my brain that is not currently enraptured by the sight and the smell of her observes that she must still be ill because her stamina is not what it should be. We stay that way for a while. I'm not sure how long because everything seems to go fuzzy. Everything that isn't her, anyway. Her eyes meet mine, and deep inside them I almost catch a glimpse of... what? Fear? Longing? Hope? Emmy, I say. A cough suddenly convulses her, and I'm almost stumbling in my haste to get off, to apologize for everything. "Sorry, I shouldn't have..." It's fine, she says. She gives me a reassuring pat on the shoulder. So, what brings you here? She's still breathing hard, and that causes her voice to shake slightly. I say, well, before I was so rudely assaulted by pillows, I came to see how you were doing. This earns me another shove, and I very nearly fall off her bed. Emmy's eyes sparkle again, and I wonder how I never noticed how attractive they are before. Consumed with worry, were you? She says. Her tone is mocking, haughty, teasing. She throws her arm across her forehead dramatically, grin still apparent from underneath. Couldn't bear the thought of me laying deathly ill. As we both recover from our brief wrestling match, Emmy appears to fall back in teasing me. Well, I say, I wouldn't say consumed with worry, but after you didn't show up this morning like a total wuss. Emmy pouts, crossing her arms petulantly and sticking her lower lip out. It's not my fault, she says. Nurse wouldn't allow it. Sure he wouldn't, I say. I completely believe you. Emmy sticks her tongue out again. You're such a jerk, Hisao. So how was your day then, I ask. Did you enjoy slacking off? Not really. The phone woke me up pretty early on. The phone, I say? Yeah, the captain of the team called to make sure I was doing okay. Also to let me know it was okay to skip practice. Good. At least she wasn't alone all day. Someone checked up on her. Although I can't help but think that it should have been me. Oh, that's good, I say. He really keeps an eye on you, huh? Emmy shrugs. It's his job. Part of being the captain means you know where your team members are when they're not in school. Still, I guess it was nice of him to call, huh? I answer, yep, sure was. Emmy yawns and shimmies down into a more comfortable position. So, she asks, how was your day? Kind of uneventful, you know. I went ahead and ran by myself and talked with the nurse about how you were doing. I meander through the day's events, none of which are particularly engrossing. That's when I'm distracted by an arm finding its way across my waist. It seems that Emmy fell asleep when I was talking, so I draw her blanket to cover us. She's rolled over on her side, and now one leg is thrown over my legs, effectively trapping me. Hey, I say. It seems a shame to wake her, but I have things to do. I gently shake her, but in response she only tightens her arm's grip on me and sighs a little. My resistance to this position crumbles rather quickly. The feeling of her body breathing steadily is both calming and incredibly stimulating at the same time. My breathing cannot decide if it wants to relax or speed up. Relaxation wins, and I find myself putting an arm around Amy. I think I'm in love, I say. The words slip out and hang in the air unnoticed. At least I hope they've gone unnoticed. Emmy whimpers weakly through her dream, and her grip suddenly tightens again. For the first time since I've known her, I see tears running down Emmy's face. It feels like my heart is about to break. I instinctively tighten my own grip and stroke her hair in what I hope is a soothing manner. Words of comfort, meaningless in this situation, spring to mind. Maybe I should wake her. Are you supposed to wake people having nightmares? I can't for the life of me remember. The decision is taken from me as Emmy suddenly jerks awake with a cry. Dad, she says. This is more than I think I want to hear without her knowing. I quickly sit upright and gently shake her shoulder to stir her. Hey, I say. You okay? What a silly question. Huh? What? Hisao? She shakes her head as if to clear it and quickly wipes her eyes. You had a nightmare, I think. Emmy shudders again and glances up at me a little cautiously, as if unsure whether or not she's actually up. Yeah, I guess so, she says. You want to talk about it? A speedy internal debate seems to be going on in her head, which resolves itself with a shrug. Nah, I don't really remember much of it. I'm pretty sure she's lying to me, but somehow I don't think I should press the issue. Emmy shudders again and turns toward me, looking a little sheepish. Sorry for falling asleep on you like that. I keep my voice as soothing as I can. Hey, don't worry about it. You've been ill. Yeah, she says. I guess that cold medicine's just made me a little drowsy. I guess so, I say. Emmy does not strike me as the sort of person who'd fall asleep at the drop of a hat. Ren, maybe, but Emmy's far too energetic. Emmy gives a half smile at my response, and then, just like that, she's back to her old self. Well, prepare yourself for tomorrow morning, Hisao. We'll have to go twice as hard to make up for today. But I went running this morning, I say. No excuse, she says. Oh, fine, I'll be ready for you. Emmy nods, satisfied. Good. I take this as my cue to exit. Well, I'd better get going, especially if I want to get enough sleep for tomorrow. I hop off the bed and head for the door. Hey, Hisao? I pivot neatly on my heel and face Emmy. She opens her mouth to say something, and then in another first, I see her falter slightly. She closes her mouth and opens it again. Thanks, she finally says. For dropping by, I mean. You're kind of the first visitor I've ever had who wasn't Ren. Now that's surprising. I would figure that Emmy'd have people dropping by all the time. She's certainly popular enough, or so I thought, always talking to people in the hallways. Emmy hesitates again. And thanks for staying around after a look of pain flits across her face. You know. It helped. She brightens back up and waves cheerily at me. See you tomorrow. Yeah, I say. See you later. I'm just about to exit the door when something makes me turn around again. Hey, Emmy. Anytime you need to talk, let me know, okay? Emmy seems taken aback by this offer. Her grin gets even wider. Sure thing, Hisao. See you in the morning. I exit Emmy's room with my head in a whirl. Should I have even left? Was she really okay? I want to turn around and march back down the hallway, open the door and tell her. Tell her I love her. Tell her I think she's beautiful. Tell her that I'll be there when she needs me. I want to stay with her, to hold her close as she falls back to sleep. How many nights has she woken up like that, only to find that nobody's there? I want to be that person she can be with when that happens. It's a silly thought, I know. We don't know each other that well, do we? The whole idea, while exhilarating, also makes me feel worry. Worry, perhaps, that I'd overstepped my bounds. And now, to add to my troubles, it seems as if Emmy herself already has an interest in someone else. This track captain of hers who seems so interested in her well-being. True, I've only seen the two of them together a few times, but that doesn't change the fact that they seem better suited to one another. There's really nothing to be done about that. I need to take my mind off this whole situation. I've got homework to do. Maybe that will distract me. And so we've made our confession. At least to a young sleeping lady in a quiet room while she lies doped up on illness and cold medicine, probably. But even though it was unheard, we have made our confession. Way to go, Hisao. I think someone has been smitten. Hence the title of the episode today. Infectious. I think he has definitely been infected by something. Now, if he can just get up the nerve and the balls to actually say it out loud when she's not sleeping now, and at the same time to hopefully find out what's going on with this track team captain that seems to be acting as a major cockblock in our way here. In addition, for the curious, yes, I am been reading this for the last 11 episodes or so with a big old dopey grin on my face. You just can't help it whenever you're reading the lines from Emmy and watching the romance bloom between the two of them. It is as the student council duo said, they are just so damn cute together. So, speaking of romances, we find that Yuko is searching the library for a missing cryptography book that just came in. Where does that sound familiar from? And it's interesting the way that she describes him. You know, this guy I knew, no, and the line before that where she says, I had this, well, and, you know, it's interesting, the way she stammers over her choice of words talking about this guy that she knew. So things may be a little bit, it may have point some clues to a rather interesting relationship there as well. And we'll see how all these things maybe progress as we go on into the next episode.